I just want to make clear, Wendy, that I'm happy to answer questions that are, in my mind, clear enough to answer, but it should be made clear that these answers to these questions are for information basis only, and if people are intending to take any legal action, that they should consult a lawyer. So that's clear, because things change with the facts. And so if there's any facts in the questions that I'm not made aware of, proper legal advice can't be given. So these are basic informational questions and basic informational answers based on the question.
Thanks for joining us today, Rocco. The question today comes from Daniela. Is there a recommended exemption from the mandatory hotel quarantine upon returning to Canada? I'm thinking that people are asking if there's any type of exemption that would allow you to legally not go to a quarantine hotel and not get a ticket. So, essential employee?
Hey, listen, the requirement to stay at a hotel is an illegal requirement to begin with, that's predominantly there to piss off the friends of the government. Because don't forget, the government designates the hotels you can stay at or not, and right. You have to pay them. This is all, in my view, this is not legal. All you're legally required to do under the Quarantine Act is quarantine for 14 days after you come to Canada. And to the extent that that's legal, and I'll explain that in a second, there's nothing to suggest that you can't do that at home. Right. So you don't have to go into that hotel. They'll ticket you for it, but you can fight the ticket. Now, the reason I say even if that, Health Canada has issued a statement that less than 1% of all those people who were required to quarantine and do the 2 tests actually tested positive for COVID. Less than 1%. So we're putting 99-point-something% of all Canadian citizens re-entering into Canada under house arrest for 14 days for less than a 1%.
Yep, and I just...
And as we know from the PCR data, that because anytime they test over 35 threshold cycles, the positive rates are false positives in 96.5% of the time. So let's break that down. Out of every 100 people that are forced to quarantine, right? Mm-hmm. Less than about 1/100% test positive for COVID. This is insanity. This is insanity.
And I will say, having just come back from Florida and having to quarantine, and having both a screening officer and a police officer knock on my door to check I'm home, I felt it was very harkened back to when I was on the job, when we would check those that had probation status to make sure they were at home. I literally felt like I was under house arrest.
Well, no, you are. And not only that, you're being treated like a criminal.
I'm probably being treated worse because the amount of times that people checked up on me and I got phone calls, right?
Yeah, so. I can indicate we will, because we're a bit burdened here at the center with all the lawsuits we got going. But there will be a class action lawsuit for having quarantined people against their will.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
And especially at the hotels.
Right.
Right.
We are Canadians. We are free. It's meant